junior world team member and national championship runner-up Kelvin Liang. Kelvin, yesterday you dropped a tough bout to Jeff Spear in the national championship final. How does that leave you feel today?
There's certainly that very unusual feeling going into that final for sure for me personally, that I was very excited, to make my biggest milestone in my fencing career, I think, up to date. But in that sense, I wasn't very focused in that bout. And I really do wish that I had kind of put everything in perspective. And usually that's something I tend to focus on as a fencer, is putting things in perspective. And I think that was something I strayed away from in that bout. But there's always a second chance to fence against Jeff, and I hope to fence him again on the circuit. So.
Now, Jeff Spear, being an Olympic team member, Olympian, he's also a graduate of Columbia University, where you've selected to go next fall. Tell us a little bit about that process and your decision to choose Columbia over alternatives.
It was a very difficult process, if I'm going to be completely honest. There's so many great schools out there for every fencer, and for me personally, I really wasn't very sure academically where my path was going to go. And so I really decided to narrow my decision down based on school. And so it really came down to a few schools, but the reason why I chose Columbia University was because as an individual, I like to learn about everything, not just one thing. And the core program that Columbia provides is something that I personally think is great to teach to all students. I think that this worldwide aspect is something that I think every student should learn. And being in New York City, it's kind of a big change from Phoenix, Arizona, going from a suburban area, going to this really big metropolis where everything's happening. And so this big atmosphere change is something I really kind of want to settle into. But because everything's happening there, I really want to immerse myself as quickly as possible. And I think that's why I chose Columbia.
Now, looking back at your success at the cadet level, the junior level, how does that kind of lay the foundation for the steps going forward and your future at Columbia and beyond?
Everything starts in minute steps, for sure. Going from all these youth levels all the way up to the senior level, you fence the same fencers as you grow up, and you meet new talent as you grow up, starting from the younger levels. And every bout, I want to take something away from, because my coach, Bill Becker, emphasizes a lot. Every fencer has something that he or she can provide to you on the strip, off the strip. And so NCAA is a very interesting situation that you do fence this myriad of fencers from all over the country, even the world. Case in point, St. John's. But there's this large variety of different fencers that I just really hope to get to know over time. And I think it'll be great development for my fencing.
And at this period, it's really difficult to predict long term, but do you anticipate pursuing fencing after Columbia?
It's a very interesting decision. I actually talked to my dad about this during lunch. This kind of is an interesting situation because I do graduate Columbia University in roughly the 2019-2020 year. So obviously this approaches the Tokyo Olympics. And so this depends, I think, largely on where I settle in academically. If I do decide to pursue something a little more strenuous, something that requires more dedication, I think that fencing will kind of be a side project. But if my performance still stays around the same level that it is now, and I hope it does, but if it does stay at that level, I do think that I will try to probably pursue the Olympic team. I think it's a goal that sometimes might not be realistic, if I'm going to be frank about it. But I think setting a goal for yourself is, I think, admirable, or something at least people should try to do. So I think that'll be something for me.
And you talk about it will depend largely on your concentration. Any thoughts at this moment what you might concentrate your studies on?
I generally have been a very statistics type of person. A lot of my friends are like, oh, you're all number crunchy, and my dad is in the same way, where we're always like crunching away at points. So my general idea is within the realm of business economics, business law, all this stuff. And it's funny because my parents are like, you like to argue with us so much, you should do law. And I'm like, well, I like business law. So that's the general track I think I want to follow right now. But obviously going in, just because I've never taken a large hatred or large liking to a certain subject in school, And so I think going back to that core curriculum I was talking about at Columbia, I think by immersing myself in that program, I think I'll be able to find in one of those classes something that I love, and I think that'll kind of outline in the future what passion I think I'm going to pursue.
All right, well, we wish you luck in that process and in your fencing pursuits as well. Congrats once again on your finalist result this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.